I'm back. It'll be my second video for the day. Uh, Thank you for the comments on my muffin or coffee cake video. I appreciate that. Um, Missy Cooking on a Budget says she liked my video and she was looking forward to my next genealogy video. And I have a little quick something. Wednesday, I was um, doing some maintenance on my ancestry tree, my personal tree. Uh, I have the Pro Tools, and you can use it to look for duplicates or people that don't have records or whatever. And I was doing that, and I'm pretty good at doing rote kind of work, clerical work, doing the same thing over and over and over. And so I was getting quite a bit done. And then a friend of mine called me, and I had helped her with her tree several years ago. And she called and asked me if I would help her again. One of her sons is soon to have a birthday, and she wanted to ask me if I could help her fill out one of those charts. I've showed you that chart before. I don't know what video it is, but it's a really big, it's a 9 generation chart. And she said, I'll pay you. And I thought, oh no, no, you can't pay me because when you pay me, it takes the joy out of it for me. And so I said, I'll do it for you. And we talked a little bit more and talked a little bit more. And she was concerned about filling out that chart, Um, and I said, well, I don't know what I'm thinking. I said, I can fill the chart out for you too. And so I've got about 2 weeks. I need to have it ready before September 25th. And, she's not expecting the world, but, as much as I can get on there. So uh, she was telling me a few things, filling in some things that I didn't have previously. I still have a tree on my account. And so I started working on it, and I was just having fun. It doesn't matter if it's my tree or somebody else's tree. I enjoy the search of it. I really like that. And second to that would be walking cemeteries. So I was working on a tree, and she called me back. We got to talking some more. And she said that her husband's uh, uh, grandfather was uh, the brother of James Best. Now, you old people ought to know who James Best is. The first time I saw him was on the Andy Griffith Show, and he played, I think his character was Jim, and Andy had locked him up because he was uh, not doing right. And he got to singing, and Andy said, "Oh, you need to hook up with the band," and he did. He was great, and so that was the first time I remember ever seeing him. But he's more known for being Sheriff Coltrane, Roscoe Coltrane on the Dukes of Hazzard. And that was exciting. It's not my tree, but it's still exciting. And I said, oh, I'll add that in. And he was, his mother died when he was 3, and he was adopted by this couple. And so I was entering in all that information, and, and then I got to looking at his mother's uh, maiden name, and it said Everly, and I thought, Everly, that sounds so familiar, and so I just kept looking and for things, and I realized that um, his cousins are the Everly brothers, as in Phil and Don Everly. I mean, some of you young people may not have heard of them, but I remember their songs. And so while I was doing that genealogy, I went to YouTube and found um, uh, YouTube that had about 35 of their videos, their songs. And so I was listening to that while I was researching the tree. And so that was exciting. And now my friend has a lot of German on her side, and they came here, like 1880, 1890, so they're fairly new. And doing research across the pond is new for me because my ancestors on both sides have been here since the 16 and 1700s. So I've had plenty of time to research them and really not have to go across the pond. So I'm looking forward to researching some of that German ancestry. And a lot of times uh, you find documents that are in German, but there are places you can go and people you can ask, about, what all that information is. But I think that'll be exciting to research the German line and see how many more people I can add before she comes and gets her chart. So I'm looking forward to it. So that's my little quick genealogy story. And Missy, thank you for asking because I'm willing to share and talk about genealogy all day. I have to keep myself in check when I'm around people and get to talking about genealogy, and I don't want to quit. So, and I think I am going to make another video this evening. It may not go up until tomorrow, but um, I have some leftover rice, and last week I was, not last week, it's not that old. A few days ago, I was looking for recipes for rice pudding, and I found one, and I thought, well, I'll try it. I've made rice pudding before, but I just put stuff in it. I didn't go by a recipe, and it was okay. And I thought, well, I'll try this one. I don't know too much about the YouTuber that did it, other than I think he was maybe a Navy cook. But I'll research that before I actually put the video up. But I think I'll make some rice pudding, and I've been nibbling on my uh, coffee cake all day. I probably need to eat some real food, although I don't really want to, but I really should. I have some soup in there that I made the other day, and I need to eat that. So, y'all have a good evening, a good day, a good afternoon, and please remember to be kind to someone. Someone needs your kindness today. Bye.